Okay, hello, hi, welcome. If you're new here, thanks for being here. If you're not new here, welcome back. I am going to say some words that are hopefully helpful to you. I took some notes and whatnot. There should be a written portion of this at some point. I don't know when this will be posted, but as I'm posting, it is a few days before a full moon in Capricorn on the 21st of July. It is currently the 16th. And I wrote some things, and originally I didn't frame it like this, but I thought that it might be a good idea to frame this in the way that, like, these are things that I wish that I had known or had, like, researched about back when I was, like, beginning my spiritual journey. It isn't the first thing that I wrote down, but I think it is a very important thing to talk about trickster energy and, like, misinterpreting and misunderstanding. Because one of my first encounters with, like, the other side and, like, the supernatural was a very confusing, like, psychosis moment, and I definitely had a hard time grasping reality and staying grounded. And so I would definitely recommend learning how to ground. And if you don't know how to ground, it's basically like regulating, like self-regulating. If you want to take a breath with me in this moment, since I'm talking about grounding, we could take a breath in this moment. Just 1, 2, 3. Holding it. Trying to silence the mind a little bit. If your mind is a little bit chaotic today, just breathe. 1, 2, 3. And then hold it. Stretching is also cool. And yes, I am in a bathroom. We don't need to, like, dwell on it. It is a factor of this video. And hopefully it doesn't take away from the rest of this. But yeah, trickster energies. Without getting too deep into it, I discovered the power of, like, audiomancy, I think that's what you can call it, shufflemancy, like getting signs and messages from, like, the other side through music. And I discovered this once again with the President Day lens. I now understand that to be like a trickster energy that was, like, getting at me. But yeah, discernment and staying grounded are very important when it comes to developing spiritually. Like, if you aren't able to, like, get a grasp of your mental atmosphere, it's gonna be really hard for you to, like, not be fooled by, like, energies that want to fool you for whatever reason. Chakra work can be so useful. That was actually one of the first things that I wrote, chakra work, because some of my most memorable events thus far, I would say, have come about after I was consciously aware of my chakra points and, like, you know, making sure the energy was flowing and whatnot. Because I kid you not, like, there was a period of my life, like, I just turned 27, but there was a period of my life where I was, like, literally as soon as I woke up, I was, like, affirming for the day and, like, basically getting into, you know, setting up my chakra points and whatnot. And though I was homeless, I would argue that those were some of the best moments of my life. But the point is that chakra work and, like, getting into the energy points can be very helpful. And let me 1 second just Also, there's a lot of different paths. Did I write that down? I didn't write this down, but there's a lot of different paths, and there's no one way to like be spiritual. And the basics of like what it even means to be spiritual is to be like of the spirit, and like things relating to the spirit. And so there's a thing about like people misusing the word spiritual, because like if you don't actually like work with the spirits and like your own spirit, like that's not necessarily spiritual. But like we're not here to talk semantics. This is basically a video for someone who is like on their esoteric woo-woo big idea spiritual journey, you know. Mind over matter is something that I wrote, and I definitely stand by this. And some people have a hard time like really grasping this, but like genuinely, if you can like get your mind behind an idea, like you're solid. Like I genuinely believe in like healing, like regenerating, literally just using the mind, like focusing enough to like command cells to do X, Y, and Z and to like heal in that capacity. Also, speaking of, I have some, there's a fine crystal here. Also, I like a good joke. I like to laugh. But I do understand that words are very important. If you want to like take it to the Bible, like, you know, the first thing was word or whatever. Generally, the words that we speak over our lives and like our journey can definitely impact us. And so I wrote, notice the power of your words. Like, make sure that you are mindful of the words that you're speaking. Even if you are joking, like, just be mindful that that is an energy that you're putting into the atmosphere. And it's like, if you're not careful, you could do a lot of damage. I also wrote daily or weekly meditation is super necessary. And like, even today, I kind of struggle with like finding a good meditation groove. But generally, meditation is very key. Did I write exercise? I didn't write anything about exercise, but also exercise is very important. Like being active and like making sure that you are fluid and etc. is very important. Well, that's not distracting. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, I also wrote the 12 laws of the universe. We're not going to go through all of the laws, but there's like 12 universal basic laws that, you know, as above, so below is also one that I wrote. That's part of that, like, the macro is the micro and whatnot. I'm sorry, my train of thought is like, anyways, but you know, the 12 laws of the universe, it's not necessarily important to know for like everyday living, but I do kind of wish that I knew that back then, because I didn't learn that until like the last year, honestly. And I've been on this journey for like quite some time. Some people argue, and I use the word argue loosely because who's arguing this? But some people say that relationship with Source is the most important thing for each of us. Like the most important thing that we can focus on is, you know, the Creator or whatever you want to call it, higher power, and this isn't a necessary thing to understand within like spirituality in general, but like the relationship that you have with your higher power definitely sets you up. Also, on a more esoteric sort of vibe, I wrote right below that ascendant sign dating work, and like one thing I definitely feel is that the ascendant, like whatever your ascendant sign is, like definitely is your god, because like there's no way Hecate ain't working with me, or like Aphrodite or Venus or whatever, and I'm just like, thank you. Because anyways, if you know, you know. Also, I have some other videos that are coming up soon. I don't know when I'm going to post this, because I have been posting quite frequently. But another thing I'll say, actually, one thing that's coming to mind, and I feel like it's really important, is to be patient with yourself. Like when you're wanting to like try a new thing or like get into a new subject, it can be really annoying when like things don't like pan out how you'd like at first, and it's like, be patient with yourself, because Rome wasn't built in a day. And like, one thing I'll say about crystals, I understood fully when I first got into them that the placebo effect was a thing, and I was like thinking at it from like a scientific sort of lens, and so I did kind of like pick this up and then drop it. Like I've had crystals over the years, and then like I just didn't, and now I do again. And also shout out to Holly. I was posting her crystal shop. She is where I got this selenite bar. She was really cool. She was really dandy. I also got this. She gave this to me for the free, and this was what I got. I purchased, or I mean, I didn't purchase it, but like still. Can you see? I feel like I kind of knew this when I got into crystals originally, but it is a lot of mental effort. It is a lot of work working with crystals. Like, you have to dedicate time and energy to them for it to do anything for you. You know, like just carrying them around is not really the end all be all. Like, it is really necessary to like cleanse and like charge, you know, charge with intention. And I especially love, I have other crystals, but I especially love like clear quartz, because it is kind of like, it just, anything you want, it's just like, here you go. I'm a blank slate. Also 555, I'm noticing. How did I not see that before? It's crazy. But yeah, I do have other videos coming out, and also I'm looking at my notes. I remember talking to this one woman. I was trying to get a job at 7-Eleven, and this one woman, she had tarot cards, and she was doing tarot reading, or she wasn't doing anything, but she had her cards out, and we were talking about it, and I mentioned trickster spirits, and I talked about this in a previous video, and it's not funny to think about it, but I do kind of like laugh about the storyline of it. But she said she was gonna like call me or whatever, and like she never did. Unrelated to that, she had said that like nothing can like pretend to be the divine, nothing can pretend to be like pure or whatever. And I didn't argue with her on that sentiment, but in the back of my head I was like, that's not really true. It's possible to look through those illusions, but that's not really true. And so like I imagine, because she just disappeared, apparently she stopped working there, maybe she got fired. I don't know what happened, but she just stopped being there. And I just think that she had a mental breakdown because of like the spirits and whatnot, and like she had to quit or something. She got, I don't know, like, and it's just like crazy to think because I'm like, why? Like this, it's just an intuitive thing. I'm like, that's obviously what happened, but like I have no idea. I have no way of knowing for a fact, like unless she showed up and told me herself. But like, it was just funny to think about because she said that so boldly, and I was like, you've only been doing this for like less than a year, Bubs, and like no offense, but like I've been on this ride for a while. Anyways, it's just a lesson in being careful, being safe when dealing, because a lot of people like to say that tarot cards are like demonic and like open evil portals and stuff like that. And like, sure, this is a possibility, but only if you allow it, you know? And if you're not careful with your words, once again, that is how we get into that danger territory when you're not like, you know, because there's certain phrases that people say where it's like, it could be misinterpreted, it could be like taken out of context, and I'm not saying it's like common to like accidentally summon demons, but like it is a possibility if you're not careful with your words and whatnot. So the words are very important. And I don't know, the more I think about it, maybe it's like, it is what it is when it comes to like the timeline of my journey. It's like, did I need any more information? Did I? But we could always use some like guidance in the right direction. Asking you receive if you do the inner work. And it's not necessarily something a lot of people say right off the rip. Like most manifestation people that I watched, they do talk about like inner work, but it's not like, I feel like it's not talked about enough. It's like, that is a necessary part. Like if you go within and you like configure things within yourself, it'll make things a lot more easy to like attract. But then, once again, this was not originally supposed to be a like what I would tell myself video. This was just supposed to be like a spiritual basics, like things for anybody. Getting into, also, as above so below, that also translates to what you see outside in your reality is a reflection of what's within, you know, and there's like politics with that. But yeah, I might end up making another version of this video, but like, I hope this is helpful, I hope this is useful, and if it has been, you should definitely hit the like button, you should definitely engage with the video, and I thank you for being here. Appreciate you. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask in the comment section, or go over to my Patreon and join me over there and send in a question there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Be safe.